Hello guys, welcome back to Pokemon Legend, the locations guide, continuations as it were, and various other stuff that I happened to find along the way that we missed in the original run, which isn't much, but does pop up occasionally. Anyway, we're now in Tohjo Falls, which under normal circumstances would mark the halfway point, roughly, of our two-land adventure, but not so much in this game. There's a Dugong, by the way. No, in this game, it's more of the two-thirds point, I would say, considering only half of Johto is available for some reason. And we've already covered like a hefty number of gyms. So, yes, so we're actually going well ahead of what Tohjo Falls would normally bring. Although, it does probably still mean another 3 parts or so going at this rate we're doing at the moment. About 3 or 4 routes, well, 4 routes tops per episode. Which is frustrating. I mean, in the early days it was about 5-6 routes apart. No problems whatsoever. Reasonable part sizes as well. But I fear that was because I was actually making an effort to catch Pokemon in those parts, and we only had to find like 1 or 2 in each route. But by this point I'd long since given up catching things and, you know, sort of expected to come back and just do it all. If I'd known how long it was going to take, I would have just stuck with it. But there we go. I probably would have still done this, but, you know, it would have just been a whole lot quicker. So yeah, that's where we stand. Probably another 3 parts, I reckon. Anyway, Tohjo Falls brings us not only Dugong, but a Slowbro, clearly, which sort of has the midway, more exciting water-type evolution feel going on with it, if that's even a feel. I don't know if it can be a feel. It seems too complex to be a pattern there. But that is the way it goes. The proper level up evolutions, anyway. No stone evolutions are to be found here. In some places there are, but not here. So yeah, Slowbro goes in without any trouble. Dugong went in without too much of a fight. And then we linger on the Bill's PC screen for a while, not quite sure why we did that. Let us glory in our caught Slowbro, unlike all the other catchers we have. And continue walking around on this, what is it, 8 tiles long bit of land, and find a Parasect, which is moderately surprising. It breaks the trend of having midway water Pokemon double type evolutions. How dare they break that trend? But I don't mind, because Parasect is awesome. It has a weird sprite in this, as does most things. That slightly I'm doing something wrong peering from under its mushroom. Maybe that's just me, the way I look at it. But yes, Parasect is here, one of the creepier Pokemon. I'm not sure if that's the right way to phrase it, but if I saw one in real life I'd be a bit freaked out. Indeed, if I saw any Pokemon in real life I would be moderately freaked out, I would imagine. So we continue. We get our life leeched, which is very annoying when you're trying to catch stuff on the basis of it having 1 health. But it only restores about 1-2 hit points, so I decide to take the risk. Let's risk it all. But how did it catch when it had 3 hit points? That's what I'd like to know. Got incredibly lucky there. I was so convinced I needed to do another full swipe. But yes, so Parasect is now ours, and we now do water wanderings. Standard course at this point. Very rarely turning up anything, sadly. And today is an exception, because it's Tohjo Falls, which is a slightly more exciting area to go through, but there was nothing interesting there at all. So we fish, and indeed, fishing is rarely turning up anything exciting at this point, sadly. In fact, we even seem to have regular sets of Pokemon appearing in fishing. I've noticed that I'm able to reuse entire capture shots at the bottom of the screen, which is nice for me, but a bit boring in terms of video usage, unfortunately. So then we leave and re-enter Route 27 very briefly, but not for long. Wander up this way and we re-enter New Barktown. Oh gosh, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Entering Route 29, where we'll actually find a couple more interesting bits and bobs. Starting off with a Ledian, which, again, Ladybird didn't seem to stand up too long ago, but always nice to have a Ledian around, I guess. Ledian's Pokemon I've always liked. It's a shame it's so not actually that terribly useful. I think it was in one of the first JoJo episodes I saw as well. Like, ever. I didn't watch it sequentially from the start. Just sort of jumped on that when it started airing about, like, at some point down the way. But yes, Ultra Ball goes, and I can't imagine Ledian is going to struggle remotely. It's probably glad to be caught. I can't imagine many people go out of their way to catch Ledian. Indeed. And a couple more things to find here still, I do believe, including Tauros, which is quite a nice find in a normal area, I have to say. Although one I've never been particularly inclined to use, I have to say. Ultra Balls go, and I actually think this thing struggled a bit. If I remember correctly. Yes. Which is a bit of a nuisance. So it gets the one attack in, and oh my gosh, those 7 hit points, I just know what I'm going to do. So we throw with more gusto, and then we catch it. Hooray. There are still a couple more new things to find here, because this area, being, I guess because it's the start of Johto, has a yield of much more fun Pokemon. Grand Ball. Shame this thing didn't turn up in the original game as in Route 29. Grand Ball is awesome. So, catch it and notice how our Ultra Ball supply suddenly jumped considerably. I ran into a Grand Ball to begin with, then it ate both of my Pokeballs that remained, sadly. So we ran around to the Fairy Pokemon. Why is it the Fairy Pokemon? I never knew that. That makes very little sense indeed. But yeah, I had to run around to Elite Four again and take them on. It's no trouble at all at this point. It's literally just a case of just having Scyther, Wing Attack, and just going through everything. There's literally the only thing that survives Wing Attack. The only thing that survives being killed, knocked out in one hit by Wing Attack, I should say, is Karen's Umbreon. That accursed Umbreon that gives everything so much trouble. I think it was a nightmare when I did it in this, but that was, gosh, not a long time ago now. But yes, Raichu is also here, which is very fun, and disproves the point about not finding stone evolutions in the wild in this hack. Clearly that just applies to fishing and surfing Pokemon for some reason. Speaking of which, let's see what we can find in this very shallow pool of water. Is there a Tentacruel hiding in it? I highly doubt it. Spoilers, there isn't. This is just standard route water, sadly. Nothing to be found here in the hack. It's only in cool bits of water where you find Pokemon. Everyone knows that. Fishing is another matter, but alas, after a moment of suspense in which we transition, we just end up walking away. Nothing new here. So we enter the Diglett's Cave. Now, Diglett's Cave doesn't yield anything unexpected at all, but it sort of does as well at the same time, if that makes any sense. We will do the big reveal at the moment. Because we have to wander around before we actually get into a fight. And then, oh my gosh, it's a shiny Diglett. Shinies in this hack turning up way more often than they should, I must say. Considering the odds of them, I'm amazed they're sort of turning up at all. I'm always amazed if they turn up at all, but this will be the third shiny of the hack. The second of which has turned up since I've been doing all these Pokemon catching sections, so yeah, quite happy with that. Nothing is going to stop me having this Diglett, even though I don't think it's a terribly exciting shiny. It's just slightly blue. And shiny Diglett is ours, and I do go ahead and name it. I did edit a lot of this out, as you all notice, in a brief sudden switch from one letter to other. Can't remember whereabouts that is. I must have gone past it already. I name it Diglo because it glows and it digs low, and it makes sense. I won't hear otherwise. It's a terrible name, but it came into my mind, and once that name was in my mind, nothing else would do. I tried to be cleverer, but I couldn't be. So Diglo. The Diglett that glows and digs low. And Route 30, by the way, which will not be yielding any shinies, not yet at the very least. Whether I come back one day and find a shiny Weeping Bell will be a matter of debate. I could hang around until I find one, but, you know, no time for that. Weeping Bell on its own is quite fun, with its enormous and very round mouth. And we catch it without too much trouble, I do believe, as well. I don't go, oh yes. It did annoy me that it paralysed Cider, but I was rather glad it didn't put it to sleep. Although as long as I've done full swipe, who cares? At least the paralysed cancelled out the sleep powder, so that's something. But still quite annoying to have a paralysed catching Pokemon on your hands. Especially with what is around the corner. At a mere 2 Pokemon away, I believe, from the looks of it. It's not Jumpluff. Jumpluff is not exciting at all. And it has 3 legs, or 2 legs and a tail. I can never quite tell. Its tail looks like a leg, if it is a tail. It could just have 3 legs, like it has 3 cotton spores above it. I do not know. And judging by the angle of its face, one leg is considerably higher up on its body than the other. If I'm being very, like, analysing this sprite carefully here. It could be kicking up. It looks like it could be, judging by the angle of it. This is a very... I'm not going to go into this. This is a very pointless road of conversation. I just saw that. If it's kicking, then fair enough. But a bit strange that the whole like joint of its connection to its body goes up as well. No one cares about this, so I will stop there. And it does the annoying leech life thing that happened in the cave with parasites, but to a much more annoying degree. I have no idea how it was leeching so much life from that cider. Jump off with leech life apparently lethal, but so yeah, in the end I just had to risk an Ultra Ball, just like full swipe, take the hit, throw the Ultra Ball. Luckily Jump Fluff is not a terribly difficult catch. Raikou is in the building, in the route. Now I dare to hope for a minute that these things actually genuinely just appeared in a single route and you could catch them, but sadly not. It still runs. And after meticulously searching the area, I never found one again. So I think I just got lucky with the appearance of it there. Sadly, I doubt I'll be that lucky again, but who knows? I've had 3 shinies. If I can catch one of the legendary dogs, I'll be quite thrilled. But anyway, the proof that is there is proof enough that you can find them in this hack, and that is something at the very least. I could have just missed them constantly, which would have been easily done if I was just expecting them to turn up. Still lacking the legendary birds, I think, though. I don't think I found any of those. But anyway, so we find a Vileplume, which makes up for Raikou's quick exit by taking forever to catch, to the extent that I have to get Trevor out and hypnotise it, and then it immediately wakes up and does Sweet Scent, which doesn't really hinder me remotely, because I'm not fussed about evasion. I have enough defence to cover all my evasive problems. But, oh my gosh, this Vileplume just doesn't want to fall asleep and doesn't want to get caught. But, considering it broke out on the first wobble, I think, without being asleep, I decided I couldn't really risk not having it asleep, basically. But yes, now it's ours. I assume we now have all 3 of that evolution chain. I don't remember finding Gloom, or even Oddish for that matter. Oddish might have been in Ilex Forest. Gloom, no recollection at all. So yes, we have another bit of water, the only bit of water in the entire route, I think, that you can access anyway. There might have been one further down. But there's nothing here, so let's try fishing. And of course there's nothing to be found fishing-wise either. And that's the end of Route 30, and running up to the end of the path as well, so I leave it there. Next time, moving into whatever town is ahead, so thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.